All right, the Lions back at it after getting a joint practice in a preseason game in with the Giants. And one of the areas that Brad Holmes just hasn't excelled is, or two areas, kicker and backup QB. I mean, everywhere else, he's totally revamped this roster into not only a capable roster, but just a high level. But those are the two areas. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Those are the last two that you'd really focus on if you had to prioritize all the everything else. But it's the two areas that's a little shaky. But kicker went well in the preseason game, but backup QB is not going well. You got Nate Sudfeld, who's really, really bad, and we know that. But it's like, hey, he was another arm there for Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker took him a minute this spring, had an opportunity, started to show just a little bit, gets injured, and this does sound like a pretty bad kind of concussion type thing, because it wasn't like, oh, he'll be back out there, he should be no problem. It was like, he's going to be out. It's like, dang it. And those are always weird and uncertain, so you don't know. So in this video, we're going to talk about how they have an opportunity to trade for a quarterback. That's like, let's just do that, please. I know we don't want to give up draft picks and whatever. I get that, but we need a capable backup. You cannot put Sudfeld out there in any possible way. Hendon Hooker you can't put out there now because he was kind of figuring it out. Really, this is his rookie year. And then he's going to miss a week, 2 weeks. You never know. You don't know what that looks like. So here's an idea that A to Z put together that is like, yep, that's it. I love it. And if you look here, we'll go down to it right here. So Dan Campbell talked about it today and said, yeah, we are looking to see what we can add as far as a quarterback. Now, who's out there just free agency wise? Not a lot of guys, right? Because there's 90 men in camp every single location. So there's 3 quarterbacks everywhere. So it's hard to find one. So you might have to trade for one. So Tyler Heineke has been already brought up. I mean, that's fine. But Taylor Heineke, did I say that? Tyler Huntley. Huntley, I like. Remember, he was with the Ravens. He's now with the Browns. And they've got DTR and Jameis Winston there. Winston's kind of the more proven QB2 at this point. But there sits Tyler Huntley. Now, remember, he was with the Ravens, played a little bit because Lamar Jackson got hurt. He actually got in there, played, did some things. Like, he's got playing experience. He doesn't go out there and embarrass himself. So I kind of like that. The Lions wouldn't be able to grab Huntley on the waiver wire if he's cut because he'll likely fetch a lot of claims, and the Lions are low on the board. With that in mind, a trade would get it done. And here's a proposal. Tyler Huntley and a 7th round pick is what the Lions get, but they have to give up James Houston and a 6th round pick. So 2 interesting things here, really, because you're going to get Tyler Huntley. You're going to solidify that backup role, and you only have to give up a 2025 6th round pick and James Houston, though. James Houston has been a big topic of conversation because we all know burst on the scene. Last year, he doesn't do anything. Coaches aren't saying much about him. I mean, they're just not. And so it's just kind of clear that he's not this guy that we had hoped he would be, the specialty D-end pass rush extraordinaire. Instead, it kind of feels like, I don't know if he's going to make the team, which is kind of crazy. So if he's not, and you're already kind of in your mind doing the calculations that you're going to cut him, another team would be like, cool, like, it kind of makes sense for another team to take a chance on him. So you could do that. So Tyler Huntley, you get a solid backup. You don't have to give up a ton to get him. Because if you're already planning to cut James Houston, which is crazy, and I don't know that, but if you already are, then that's like, let's go. So something to keep in mind. Let me know in the comments if you would do that trade, or if it's like, nah, let's not mess around with that. Right? Like, let's not screw around with, let's just wait till there's cuts. See, that's the problem. You can't wait till there's a bunch of cuts, because there's going to be 32 quarterbacks out there because every team has 3 right now. But do you wait and then they don't know and they're not in here? So the backup quarterback is a real situation that we definitely have to follow along. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that kicker was another position. Kicker's looking good here because we look at day 12 observations. Jake Bates end practice with a boom. Thank you, Jake. We needed that because that preseason game was rough all around. Our one guy that we really wanted to see, Hendon Hooker, gets hurt. It's just like, geez, come on. So Dan Campbell said, "Hey, look, we're going to be prepping these guys for the next couple days. So they've got 2 practices, and then it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Quite a few people out, veteran guys. Um, James Houston again, right there. Nate Linney said he's out for the year. DJ Reader taking his time. A lot of guys out, which is you can kind of imagine. And these guys here, Decker, Zeitler, Houston, and Levi, we're all getting work on the side with the trainer, so they're in good shape. Jameson Williams, Khalil Dorsey. Let's just go down here. Donovan Peoples-Jones was an opportunity for Donovan Peoples-Jones to shine. He took advantage early, beating Brian Branch on a go route first connection with Jared Goff. I didn't see another rep from him, though. Still, that's what you want to – that's the way for him to make an impression. So remember, that's another one we're keeping an eye on. I just want to get down to our guy, just talk about him before we looked in some other things here. Hold on. Let's get to it. I thought it was I can't find it. Jake Bates. Okay. Jake Bates, 64-yard attempt and seconds remaining to tie the game. All right. That's, I mean, a 64-yarder. So that's what's crazy is like, it's like, just get us around midfield, which is crazy. And that's what you need. If you're coming from behind trying to win the game or trying to tie the game, it's like, just shoot. Because you get the kickoff return, the new kickoff return rules. If you make one guy miss, boom, boom, get up to the 40. Now you've got 20 yards to go. A little more than that, but you know what I'm saying? You got 20 yards to go to tie the game with 36 seconds to go and one timeout. Like, that's not an eternity, but it's like kind of feels like it if you can have a kicker that can boot a 64-yarder. Bates' kick was good and had a couple yards to spare. I guess he's used to game winnings from that distance. It was nice bounce back for Bates, who also made a 41 and 58-yarder. That is a game changer. Again, you're not counting on that, but just to have the ability to do it, that's huge. So if the kicking position, the backup quarterback position can kind of polish up a little bit, it's like, oh my gosh, that's what you're really looking for. And I don't know. Can the Lions just get those question marks taken care of, and then we should be off and running like no other. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments on the trade for a backup quarterback. And would you trade James Houston? That really is the question. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next.